Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live back again Friday. You know the score. It's Agree to Disagree, the show where we all have different opinions and we're here to agree or disagree with them opinions. Big up, gentlemen. Big up to everyone who's locked in. We've got Dan Potts in the building. Dan, everything all good? Friday, sunshine. All good?
Man. Big up. Weekends here. Last weekend. I think everyone's either looking forward to seeing what happens or looking forward to being over and done with, man. So it depends who you support. But big up for having me on again, man. Big up to the panel. Big up to the chat. And let's do it, man.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up, Lee. I seen you on Sunday. Torrential rain. It was crazy, wasn't it? That monsoon in Manchester, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable, wasn't it? Like unbelievable. I've never seen nothing like that. That rain come down so quick, like, and even the roofs you couldn't keep dry. You know what I mean? It was unbelievable.
yeah, it's crazy. But now, big up to Lee as always, and also Dan as well, Chelsea fan. Thiago Silva there, I can see in the background. Last game for him. But yeah, man, how you feeling, mate? All good?
Yeah, all good. Like away from football wise, obviously the sun's out and we're coming up to the end of the season. So yeah, hopefully Chelsea can make something happen to end it on a high.
Yeah, big up, man. And obviously Drifty's going to join us as well. He is here. Big up, Drifty, as always. Hope you're blessed, Drifty. What are you saying?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. Glad to be here. I know exactly what Dan means. Everyone just wants it to be over now.
Yeah.
From a rival point of view, I'm going to be shameless as I can right now. I just want City to get this win over and done with so my anxiety can be over and done with. You know?
Don't worry about it. Listen, even me, I'm a United fan, and you know most of my family's City, so I know the inevitable in it. So it is what it is, man. But it is the last game of the season, man, and I can't lie. For me, it's been a draining season. I think even Liverpool fans, when you look at where the roller coaster's been for Chelsea, they started to end it on a high, but it's been a very, very disappointing season. And Arsenal, it's disappointing all around here, man. Like, I'll start off with you, Dan, but, you know, how are you feeling as the season comes to an end, man? It's one game to go, and it's not in your hands, isn't it, Dan?
Nah, it's not, mate. It's not. What I will say is this. Anybody that was frustrated or disappointing the other night, I'm not really sure I get it, if I'm honest, because I was frustrated after Aston Villa, And I said when we left the Emirates that Liverpool and Arsenal were just throwing away the title, and it was right. It was true. But then, of course, you get the people that don't want to accept that start saying that it's a toxic and negative attitude to have and that you've got to believe to the end and all this. But you can believe all you want. The realism is we threw the league away that day at Aston Villa because it was in our hands, right? Then you can look back further than that if you want and look at Fulham and West Ham and other games like that. But really, when you look at what you could have done, it's on Arsenal. So people that are blaming City being too good or Son missing chances or all that stuff, for me, you got to look at yourself, man. Look in-house and see what went wrong. We've had a good season. Let's be real. I didn't expect, not a lot of people expected us to take it to the last day. And we have. We can still win the league. I know it's very, very unlikely, but we can still do it. And there'll be question marks over Arsenal not winning things again. And I can understand why there would be some section of the fan base that would question if we're ever going to get across the line. But I think we're getting closer. Another summer transfer window to try and improve that bench, and we go again. But I'll look into this season now, just try and enjoy on Sunday, be with people that, you've enjoyed your kind of season with, which is what I'll be doing with Lee and with the boys and with the girls and guys that I drink with and socialize with when it comes to football, and enjoy that last day and just pray. All we can do is our job, and you just pray that David Moyes and West Ham can do some miracle and take something off of Man City. But it's going to be very, very hard, man. I'm not expecting it.
Yeah, Lee. I mean, the title of the video was someone needs to stop Pep Guardiola, but who? I think you guys are the closest, because I look at Arne Slot coming in, and I think it would be crazy to expect him to win the league in his first year, irrespective of what you think about them and whatnot. And I don't think Chelsea are there for me, and then United are definitely not there. But do you think Arteta can stop him? You're about to sign a new deal now with Arteta. What's it going to take to stop this man? Is it because it's 6 and 7 now? We're talking in crazy amount of titles, man. 6 and 7.
Not yet, bro. Not yet.
Well, come on, man. It kind of is. You know what I mean? Let's not do this. Like they're going to be
happen, bro.
I don't know. Okay, let's assume it's 6 out of 7 then, Lee. But what do you say? He's done 5 in a row. What do you say, Lee?
Yeah, listen, I'm not disappointed by our season. I think we've done really well. We're just, if I look back at it, if you say at the beginning of the season, how many defeats can you have? I think 5 is probably too many. Probably looking at 4. So 1 defeat along the way.
One defeat all year, though, Lee. It's mad. 1 defeat all year this year.
Yeah, but 4 defeats before that, So you have to look at it as a whole season, and the hope that I've got is that our team is still not in its prime. I look at De Bruyne; he's getting a little bit older now, and Silva is not quite the player he was. They're still very, very. They're still at the top of their game at the moment. But I'm just hoping that we can be like Odegaard is still not quite there. Obviously, Saliba, Declan Rice, they're all very, very good, but they're not quite in their prime yet. Another year. And also, if I'll be really honest, I don't think there's been too much about the difference between the two teams, but I just think experience is a big thing. Experience about taking on this Man City. I don't think you really appreciate what it's like until you've actually done it, for the last 2 years. When Liverpool were going at it with them, you just sort of watched it and didn't really appreciate how difficult. People used to take the mickey out of Liverpool because they lost 1 game and didn't win the league, and things like that. But when you're actually in it, you look back at that and think, wow, how didn't they not win the league that season? We're about if we win on Sunday, it'd be a record amount of wins in a Premier League season for Arsenal, and it's still not enough. So that's what you're dealing with. So. They're a very, very difficult team to beat. The one I don't admire Manchester City for obvious reasons. Where I've got a lot more grudging admiration for the likes of Liverpool and Man United. But the one thing that I do think, and I've sort of from outside now into the inside, and I do appreciate it, is that when the pressure is really on in the last 5-6 games, they just breeze through games. You know what I mean? When we Dan's right, that was the only time this season that Premier League was in our hands solely. You know, that game against Villa, and we wilted a little bit under the pressure. But if that's Man City, they just breeze it. From that day on, Manchester City, it was in their hands solely. And they've just wiped the floor with everybody. You know, the only team that's really they've struggled against was Spurs on Tuesday, like, you know. But they come through it in the end. But you have to admire that in some horrible way, I suppose, that you do. Even I've seen other teams wilt a little bit. Do you know what? There's like, there'd be loads of twists and turns. And there is always loads of twists and turns, apart from when it's Man City.
Yeah, 100%. There was a comment here about saying Arsenal special is a failure. Listen, man, it's very difficult to say that when, you know, you've got Pep Guardiola in front of him, man. But Drifty, you'll know more than anyone, man. Coming second to Man City. No disrespect to you, man, but it's tough, man. You know what I mean? Like, when people say it's a farmers league, yeah, I feel like that's wrong, innit? Because I still think it's one of the most competitive leagues in the world. You know, you can get teams beating each other. You know what I mean? Like, but what do you say? Like, is it a farmers league? Is it like, what? How do we get to level? Is it just a case of waiting for Pep Guardiola to leave?
The reason why I wouldn't call it a farmers league is because usually that means there's like a destruction of the league. I don't think the same team winning every year can be considered farmers. The reason why people will say Italian league is a farmers league is because Juventus have got the league wrapped up in like February. Bayern Munich won 10 in a row, and apart from last year, it was always 4 or 5 games to go. It was already done. That's why people will call it a farmers league. In the Premier League, the majority of the time, it's still right to the end. Regardless of whether City win it or not, there's still a team that will contest them almost to the end. I think the Centurion year is the only year they just ran away with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's a bit unfair to call it a farmers league in England, personally.
You know. By the way, the Serie A is not a farmers league, to be honest, because AC Milan, Inter Milan, Napoli have all won it in the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years. So that's actually kind of.
I think it was 7 in a row, though, bro.
Yeah. To be fair, before that, Allegri was 7 in a row. You know, since 2020, they've had different people winning the league. You know, listen, there was some news about. Bro? Yeah, go on.
No, so just to answer your question about how do we stop Pep, nobody saw Klopp leaving. I've got a feeling that Pep's going to walk away so random, everyone's going to be shocked. I don't think it's going to be this great like announcement of he signed an extension, he won't go any longer. We know we got a countdown for 2 years or something like that. I think he might just one day do what Klopp did and go, yeah, do you know, I'm a bit over this now. I'm going to leave at the end of the season. And do you know what I mean? It can happen because a manager never truly knows when he's done. Because you normally get sacked, remember. There's not many elite level coaches that actually have the ability to put it in their own hands. Klopp, Fergie, Pep, these are a different breed of manager. Do you know what I mean? That get to decide when they feel like they want to walk away. You're normally sacked. Even great people like Jose Mourinho and Ancelotti have been sacked from jobs. They haven't just walked away. So I think Pep might just go when he feels like it, and it might just be a complete shock.
Yeah, there's some reports coming from David Honesty that potentially 2025 would be a year he'd probably be leaving. But I mean, Dan, I'll come to you next. I mean, do you see him leaving Pep? Like, can you look at it in that way, or do you just see it's not looking that way?
Yeah, I think I see him leaving. I think this has probably been the longest spell he's had at any club that I can remember. I don't think he was at Barcelona this long. Yeah, I think he's done amazingly well. Look, to be honest, he probably wants one more year, win an unprecedented 5 in a row, know that probably won't be done again. And hopefully then we can kind of get him out of the league and someone else can have a chance. Because to be honest, I don't think it's a farmers league either. I think it's too competitive. It's going into the final day mathematically. So it's definitely not done and dusted like a farmers league would be in other competitions that we've seen. Like Germany's been wrapped up for a while this season, but I wouldn't call that a farmers league either. I think that term's thrown around a little bit loosely. But yeah, Pep Guardiola has definitely tried his best to make the Premier League, that hasn't he? So yeah, I think he'll be gone. I think he'll want a new challenge. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what league that's in as well, but I definitely think he'll be open to something different, because if he does 5 in a row at City, what else can he do?
But win more, get to Fergie, win 13. You know what I mean? Like the thing is with that number, from where it would it be 7? So if he wins it now, is it 7 Premier Leagues he's won, or is it 5?
No, it'll be 6, won't it?
17.
6. It will be 6, won't it? Is that
It's
right?
6. Yeah.
Trying to think
Yeah,
now.
he won 2 in a row, and then we won, and now he'll win 4 in a row if he gets the win on
Yes, that will be
Sunday.
6.
So yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
6.
6, yeah. So he needs 7 more to get to Fergie's level. That's a lot, man. I don't think you can do that, man. I'll be honest with you. So what's the perfect number for him? Is it 6 and I'll go? Is it 7? Is it 8? You know, what's the perfect number? Hey,
Hopefully it's 6 and go.
6 and go,
That's all I
man.
hope. I want him out, man. It's driving me insane, this guy.
But you know what, though? A lot of people don't realize that. I don't think the fall off will be as bad as people think it is, you know, because because they have a look. Come on, man. They got people there. Soriano, Bergestein. They got a whole network, man. They got players, bro. They got the academy. They got the infrastructure. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? There's more chance of that 115, becoming their hindrance than a new manager coming in. I'll be honest with you, because I think the next manager will come in. He might not win as many trophies as Pep, but I still think they'll win leagues. They'll
compete. You know? They'll compete, but I don't necessarily.
Compete.
Do you know what I'll say? I think one thing I don't think people are really thinking about, and this might have something to do with why Fergie went on at one club for so long as well. Klopp isn't leaving because he's going to another team. Klopp is actually retiring. He just hasn't ruled out coming back, but he's actually retiring. He said that he doesn't want to be in his 60s managing, and he actually said he's exhausted and he's been doing this, and his whole life has been football, and he wants to enjoy his family life, his wife, his grandkids, etc. So as far as he's concerned right now, he's retiring. I don't think Guardiola would retire as young as he is, because he's quite a bit younger than.
It's
I think
52,
about 5
53
years younger than Klopp.
Yeah.
So here's the problem. Why would Guardiola leave Man City if it isn't for retirement? Because there's nowhere else to go. He's been at every single giant club in the world, and other than maybe Italy, where I don't really know what club would suit him, where's he go? So
I think he goes back to Barcelona, but in Barcelona, not the same.
Spanish manager.
Oh, Spain's manager. He's always had a dream of the Brazil job as well.
Guardiola, really?
Yeah. And he had a dream of managing Brazil as well. He wanted to manage Brazil, didn't he?
Well, there you go then. International football. Maybe that would be the only reason why he will leave.
I would imagine he'll go. I imagine he'll go national team, whether it's Spain or what. Did he play for Spain? Because a lot of people say he did, but then didn't he have that kind of Catalan thing where
politics got involved. He wouldn't manage the Spain national team because he's Catalonian. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe Brazil then. Maybe
he played a few years in Italy as well, so there's no reason why he wouldn't consider managing in that league, unless it's just sort of we consider it a smaller league than what he could achieve in international football.
Yeah, Girona, people are saying. I don't know, man. It's a weird one. But listen, right now, you got the crop of managers right now is obviously Ten Hag is still here right now, so that you got that. Arteta is going to sign a new deal, so he's going to be here for a while. You've got Arne Slot, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really have much hope for in terms of competitively winning the league. You know what I mean? Then you got Pochettino, who again has been a serial loser. Let's be honest, Dan. He hasn't really won much apart from the French league. Who the hell is gonna, step up, man? I don't know, man. I genuinely don't know. I think it's Arteta only, but then again, Arteta's come twice and still not won it. You know?
Who knows?
We hope it is. We hope it's Arteta. But again, you look at the manager. Every time someone says sack the manager and who do you want, the list is poor, man. The list is so poor. Like, look at some of the names that people have been linked with. Look at the names Man United have been linked with. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who the hell is the best one out of the bad bunch. Maybe Hansi Flick at the moment is probably the one you can look at and press TV. All the others, I mean, Gareth Southgate, come on, man. Do me a favor. Like, seriously.
No. He's not coming. He's not
coming. Man. It's a mad even decision. I think the other day, Thomas Frank being Thomas Frank, like what he's done at Brentford, but really, Man United, not for me. So I look at the list, and that's why people look at it. I think a lot of people are looking at Mikel Arteta as the next one, the nearest one to step up. But Pep could even stay past, man. He could even stay past 2025. Who knows? If all this 115 is a load of nonsense, then he'll probably stay even longer, won't he? You know what I'm saying? So it's mad. It really is.
How many titles did Klopp win in how many years?
One in 9.
One in 9.
No disrespect. 1 in 9 he's won, and he's an elite manager. I put him up there.
I don't think he's elite, I'll be honest with you, but go ahead.
I do. I think, he's gone toe to toe for how many years it's gone. But at the end of the day,
No, because what's elite then? What's elite? I regard elite as the Mourinho's,
but
Fergie and Pep Guardiola. For me, he's not in that category.
What I'm saying is that Klopp's gone up against Pep in their prime.
Yeah.
He's gone up against Man City in their prime when De Bruyne was in his 20s, in his prime.
I'm not
on the wind-up.
He's the legend, man. He's the legend. He just dropped that grenade in. He dropped that grenade in.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's on the wind-up.
No, hold on a minute. Forget the titles, yeah? I don't want to say 1 in 9 and all of that because I respect
but it looks bad when you say it like that, side. 1 in 9, it looks bad. That's what I'm trying to say.
So why is he on par with an elite manager like Fergie?
Because he's up against a machine. He was up against a machine.
Yeah, but Fergie was up against Mourinho. He was up against Wenger. Bro, come on, man. He was up against 3 managers.
Liverpool. The Premier League's not the only trophy available, bro. He's won 9 trophies at Liverpool. 9 trophies in 9 years. Premier League isn't the only trophy. And then we forget that he got to a Champions League final with Dortmund and he won back-to-back Bundesliga titles. What are we doing here?
No. Yeah, but I'm not being horrible. Cup competitions are cup competitions. The league is the one.
The league and the Champions League is the one.
And he's won 1 league title. And I'm not having a go at that. I'm just saying that's how hard it is to be, and I think he's elite. So when you're asking other managers now to come along and take that spot, it's going to be very, very tough. I think if I've been really honest with Klopp, I don't think he will retire. I think he's just jaded from what's gone on over the last few years. You know what I mean? Got to go again. It must be really hard, isn't it? Like it's for Arsenal. Yeah. Time you give it all you got. How much better can we get? We go again the next season and lose again and go again. It must be really, really hard to do that. But he's been able to maintain that for. Listen, take that Manchester City out of it and just say that they hadn't got those. And been done for all their whatever misdemeanors. Klopp would have won 7 titles probably, like, you know what I mean?
I know.
Which would have made everybody be going how wonderful he is, you know what I mean? Like, so it's fine margins.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get that. Big up to ZZ. Thank you for the super chat. She says, LML, Italy for Pep. No club has the capacity to give the bloke his checkbook settings. And Fergie got spanked red versus Pep twice in the Champions League. Again, by an elite manager. That's why I hate Barcelona for a reason. Because they stopped us from winning 2 Champions League. Listen, you know what it is, Drifty here? I'm not saying it because I feel like, listen, I don't really like Liverpool, you know what I mean? But that doesn't kind of like sway my opinion. I'm just saying elite managers are Mourinho, for me, Pep Guardiola, and Fergie, Ancelotti. I don't think Klopp sits on that table. That's all it is. They're the elite, and maybe the ones below are great, great managers, and maybe Klopp is part of that. But I just don't think Klopp fits in that bracket. Probably even Wenger doesn't even fit in the elite bracket. Would you say that Wenger fits in the elite bracket? Let me know in the comments below.
I mean, you don't have to be better than those guys to be elite, though. It isn't just 3 managers only can sit in the elite category. Well, in my opinion, anyway. And again, people will always call it like loser mentality, but I'm just putting context into the situation. 99, 97, 93. Those are 3 of the point tallies that he got in the league. And if I'm not mistaken, it's higher than even Fergie ever got in his whole time at Man United. So you have to add the context to it. Yes, okay, he's lost 2 of the finals he reached, but he got Liverpool to 3 Champions League finals in 7 years of being in the Champions League. Like, I think people downplay some of his things that aren't achievements as in a trophy, but you still have to, like, we did back to back. Like, imagine this, bro. Yeah, we went up against Real Madrid in the Champions League. We lost it. Everybody, ha 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 ha. The following season, we got back to the final and we won it. In that same season, we lost out on the Premier League by 1 point. What did we do? Everyone's ha ha ha. What did we do? We won it the next season. That's an elite manager that can motivate his team to get up for that level of disappointment and the very next year correct it. Do you get what I mean? Like, you have to be on a certain level. And it's the only thing I worry about with Arsenal with regards to if Arteta doesn't win the league this year, I watched Klopp manage to not let the not winning stretch out. So I think to myself, does Arteta start to doubt himself even a little bit if he goes 2 years not getting over the line, but with nothing to show for it? And then do the players start to slightly not believe as much what he's saying as they did before? That's the only thing that could become a hindrance.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah, Lee, obviously, Lee and Dan Potts, you could go first. Like, Arteta's got 1 year remaining. Yeah, do you think it's wise giving him a new deal now if he doesn't win the league next year? Like, because his contract runs out of 2025. You know, would it be natural to kind of say, you know what? You know, we're not going to give you a new deal. We're going to wait until that season happens and whatnot. And then if you do win the league, then you get your contract at the end. Or, because if you give him a contract now and then he doesn't win the league next year, you're almost kind of like, wow, this guy's an early man. Like, what are we going to do here? Like, you know, I'm being genuinely honest with you. Like,
I'm with you. I would leave it. I would leave it. Why does he need to sign a new deal? Like, just let it. Let's see what happens next season, and then we go again, and then we can offer him a new deal if we want. It's not like the guy's not going to stay. The guy seems well happy here. He's got everything he wants. So I don't see why we have to keep giving these contracts way before we've won anything. Like we did it before. We were, sixth was what we needed. We got top six. We got fifth place in the end. Brilliant. Give him a new deal in bloody February or whatever it was. Let's just play it out, see it out. And, you know, for me, I don't think we're in a rush to give this guy a new deal personally. And in terms of the question about Klopp and elite quickly, I think the better question to ask, because everyone's definition of elite is different, how many managers are better than Klopp is probably the better way. And if you believe there's 3, 4, 2, 1, then that shows you how good Klopp is, in my opinion. I think there's only a few better than him, in my opinion. Don Carlo, Pep Guardiola, and then I'm struggling after that. So for me, you know, Fergie, obviously. But for me, I think he's in that next bracket. But listen, I wouldn't be giving Mikel Arteta new deals really, really quickly. I think the guy's got to actually achieve something and prove that he's the guy to get us across the line before we start giving him 5 or 6 year contracts personally. But Lee might think differently.
Yeah. But just before you go there, Lee, big up Wintersurf said, would you call Tuchel elite because he went back-to-back Champions League finals?
No, because he doesn't win league titles.
Yeah.
You have to include league titles if you're elite. You can't only win champions.
Yeah. Lee, question for you. Obviously, I think you want Arteta to stay. Change it now, would it cause a bit of a, you know what I mean? Well, I think there's managers available there, Lee, if I'm being honest with you. Like, there's winners out there, but are you going to disrupt the kind of maybe mood in the Arsenal fan base and the fact that you guys maybe change? It's changed something that people want to see nowadays. You know what I mean? People want to.
I don't see why you would want to change him. What, you know what I mean? We're challenging. We're the second best team in the country at this moment in time.
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, we're the second best team in the country, but by quite a distance, as the points show this season. I think at the end of the day, did Liverpool challenge this season? I think they did to a certain degree, like a little bit to what we did last season, and then fell off. But so they come again. You know, like you could. What amazes me, like so. Let's you know, let's not give Saliba another contract because you know he's not won nothing for Arsenal since he's been there. You know what I mean? Like he's one of the best central defenders coming through. You know, I just think that you know. Arsenal would have won this league comfortably this season if it wasn't for Manchester City. But they're there. And there's no getting away from that fact that they're there. I don't think like if they weren't there, as I just said earlier on, Klopp wins 4 or 5 titles and Liverpool are the winners of the Premier League and the league more than any other club. And no one was sort of saying this when I'll tell you, and this is where it amazes me about social media and everything like that. 2 managers, right? George Graham, when he managed at Arsenal, won the league in '89, as we all know, like that game. The next season, Liverpool won it, right? There would have been like on social media going, oh look, he nearly messed the league up in '89. He's lost it in '90. You know what I mean? Then he goes and wins it in '91. You look then at Arsene Wenger, who won it in '98. with an unbelievable side. He didn't win it for 3 years after that. You know, but everybody began, I'll get rid of him now, get rid of him. Like, you know, I think that you've got to just take it a little bit into perspective and all that. Like when Arteta first come to this club, whether you think it's right or wrong, you know, we was 8th or 9th. You know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
we're challenging. I think now the best team or best, and I don't like to say that because of what's gone on with them, but they are the best team and club in Premier League history at this moment in time. No, you know, I don't remember Manchester United winning the treble and then going on and winning the double the next year and doing what they're doing, 4 titles on a row, you know what I mean? And at the end of it, they'll probably win 5. They'll probably win it again next season. And you know, it's going to be...
That's my
really,
question to you then.
hard.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, why don't you just go and get a manager who is a serial winner?
Who?
For me, Allegri's available. Allegri.
The best. All right, let's go and get Jurgen Klopp then, because that's all. That's the only one out there.
Allegri.
Well, what's he doing at Juventus at the minute?
No, but he's not doing anything. But he's a winner. He's a winner. You've got
but he's
Hansi
a
Flick.
winner. He's a winner in a league. He's not. There's no one. It's all right saying it's a winner. You've got to go up against Manchester City. There's only one manager at this moment in time that's gone up against Manchester City in the last 5-6 seasons, as we've just discovered, and he's leaving now because he's won 1 Premier League, and he's give it all of his all in the last few years. You know what I mean? It's not easy. If Klopp can't do it, I don't think Arteta can, and I don't think other managers can. Like, you know what I mean? It's an unbelievable thing to say. Mourinho wouldn't be able to do it, I don't think, in his pomp.
No, he's not in his prime.
At the end of the day, I think Alex Ferguson see what was coming.
Could then Arsenal then not pay? They've got money now. Can't Arsenal go to Inter Milan or go to Simeone from Atletico Madrid and say, you know what? We've got 25 million here. We're going to buy you out your contract. We're going to go here and buy you out your contract. And say,
why is it manager? Why don't they get the players said? That's what I think at the end of the day. You know
I get that. That's a good point.
Go and get the best players that you can possibly get, like, you know what I mean? And challenge them that way. Get better players than what we've got. It's not necessarily down to the manager now. Like, the manager's proved that he can win things now, like, you know. But at the end of it, like Liverpool, for instance, I think if Klopp would be, if you sat him down and said really honestly what you say, you're going, well, it's going to take me another 400 or 500 million to push to go back to where he was. They haven't got that money. And that's the trouble that you've got. Arsenal maybe have got a little bit more money than Liverpool. I don't know at this moment in time. I don't know the finances.
Conte did beat Pep and Klopp, you know. I know it was his first season, Pep, and I know that's a bit of a big context, but Conte is a winner, you know what I mean? He has won it multiple
How many times?
He's obviously won it with Chelsea one time, but he's won it with Inter Milan. You know, he's a winner.
He had Tottenham and he didn't win it.
Did he not go unbeaten in Serie A as well with Juventus?
Yeah, went unbeaten in Serie A. Yeah,
but he had 2 years at Spurs and didn't challenge.
Yeah, but that's Spurs league.
Spurs.
What are you saying? And you put an elite manager in, and he's still not done it, has he? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
yeah, but that's because of the club. I think if you're putting him into a team that Arsenal have at the moment, I think you've got to the point now where you have a serious squad of players that, if you took that risk to go for an elite manager, you could notice an instant success. But where that might leave you 2 years down the line might actually be backwards from where you are now, where Arteta might be able to put up a more consistent challenge over a good amount of time.
Would you three get rid of him? Because me and Lee
Arteta.
Yeah, like let's say out of the managers that are available now, who would you? Because if Carlo Ancelotti is available, I'd take him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right, but he's not. So who is out there that you go, do you know what? I don't know why Arsenal are hanging on to Arteta when they could go and get boom. Give me the name.
I'll give for me, I would say, obviously it depends on what Arsenal fans want and whatnot. I would say 1 more year of Arteta, This is me, an outsider. So I'm not speaking for people. 1 more year, and if you don't win it the next year, then I would, for me, get rid of Arteta. Because I'm like, it clearly shows that maybe it just isn't the man to take you to the final hurdle. So maybe 1 more year, and then we say, right, Arteta, thanks for the memories, but we're going to go find someone who can deliver it over the line. You know, just deliver us over that. And that could be Carlo Ancelotti, because Carlo Ancelotti could be then available. He is going to be available next summer. Go and get Carlo Ancelotti.
Here's the crazy thing, bro. Here's the crazy thing. Let's just add a little bit of context just to see how easy this is then, bro, yeah? Carlo Ancelotti has been a manager for over 20 years, yeah? And he's only won 5 league titles in his entirety of his career. It
No,
ain't
that's
easy
his,
to win the league, you know.
I
And
know
this
it's not
is somebody
easy.
who we all
I
agree is
know.
elite. And he's only won the league with Bayern Munich once, AC Milan once, Real Madrid twice, and Chelsea. And you could
No,
arguably say a
six,
lot of those
six, six.
teams are
Apparently,
meant to win
6.
the league.
Yeah.
So which one was the
It's a
who
great
else
point.
did he win the league with?
Great point. Arsenal have been going, by
Bayern,
the way,
what
over
you saying?
100 years. They've won it 13 times. So what gives what gives you the right to win a league? Over 100 years old, Arsenal are. They've won the league title 13 times. In all the time I've been following Arsenal, I've seen us win 3 Premier Leagues and 2 normal leagues, I think, like 5 times.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, but so why does it give you the right to say, right, oh yeah, this manager, if you don't do it in 2 years, he'll win the league? When the history of a football club, and I don't know how long Man United have been going and Liverpool have been going.
Yeah. Okay. Let me flip
They've
this
won
one.
it 20 times. They've won it 20 times each. You know what I mean? So
Okay. I'm gonna flip the question then. What if he doesn't win a trophy next year? Do you think it's time to go?
that's a different story. That's a different
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, because he's not won. He's only won one
Start winning
trophy.
trophies. Yes.
He's only. Do you know the maddest thing is? He's only won one trophy in 4 years as manager, and that was a squad with Unai Emery. I think for me, he has to win a trophy. Like, I know a lot of people say Carabao Cup, but something to be like, you know what? I'm doing something here. So if he abandons all the trophies next year and then doesn't win anything, then you have to then say, come on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's
We got to
fair,
do better.
okay.
Domestic cups, we got to do better. I actually, with you, I would be leaving him. That's why I wouldn't give him another contract. I'd keep him next year. Doesn't win anything, then you could look to try and get somebody like Carlo Ancelotti if he's available. But whoever comes in, I don't want. Basically, what I'm saying is, I want an elite manager next. I don't want a De Zerbi. I don't want an Amorim. I don't want any of those guys. I want someone to go, right, this team is here now. Boom, done. Whereas with the other clubs like Chelsea's and Manchester United's and all that, Liverpool's, they've all said, oh, it's more of a project. I disagree. I don't think Liverpool is a project, but maybe the other two are, right? So I understand that. But I don't want any more projects, man. I don't want any more projects. I'm done with it. I've waited 20 years. Someone get us across the line. If it ain't going to be Mikel, I hope it is. If it ain't, you get someone else who it is, man. That's the way I see it. So.
Big up Francis says, Mr. Potts, why is it so guaranteed to win the EPL against Pep? Mind you, Pep has only lost 3 titles in all his career. Joint rivals to one Arteta route is mad. Listen, he has his own opinions.
I never said I wanted Arteta out. I said I wouldn't give him another contract.
Yeah, that's what he said as well. So I feel like it comes down to expectations. Where do people want to see their club? And like I said, it's going to be tough, man. Listen, we're a million miles away. You know what I mean? This is why I'm so angry at what's happening now with 10 hours. We're not even getting top 4 now. Yeah, so we're a million miles away in terms of that one, man. And the next guy that's in place is Arne Slot, you know? And by the way, big up everyone who's here. There's only 276 likes. Let's get these likes up to 500 if you can, people. Smash your likes, man. But Arne Slot, man, I mean, Drifty, like, it's just the most underwhelming manager. I think, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's the most underwhelming appointment out of everyone, you know. When we had Ten Hag, it was a bit like, you know, everyone was like, rah, Ten Hag. Pochettino wasn't too bad. You know, I think this is underwhelming, man. You know, like, there's no gas. There's no, you know what I mean, Drifty? Like, talk to me, man. What are you saying?
See, you can look at this from 2 ways, right? You can look at it from the point of view of the hype, the popularity, and then you can look at it from the point of view of what's sensible. And I think we can use players as examples where you shouldn't always just think because there's a hype, it's a good idea or it's going to work. We've seen on multiple occasions where that doesn't work, right? The comparison with Ten Hag is poor as well. You can watch numerous podcasts or read numerous articles where even Dutch people are like, stop comparing them because they're just both Dutch. They aren't even remotely close in the way they play, their personalities, nothing. We wanted Xabi Alonso. That was clear. I think he's the new Messiah. He's the new next guy. But he decided to stay. So what can you do? You have to find an alternative. And I think that they've done their due diligence and they've looked at playing style. They've looked at the way he is as a character. Because you lot can laugh at this if you want, or you can understand where I'm coming from. Certain clubs, it's all about the character. You can't just come in and be some boring guy. Nobody wants to hear you and all that kind of stuff. It's a family club, Liverpool. It's an institution. We can't just have some guy coming like a robot. We don't like hearing him talking in things. We don't relate to him. It's what made Klopp so endearing to the fan base. It wasn't just the winning, it was the man and the wins. And I think Slot is a very good character. And I think that's one of the other reasons why they brought him in. Our youth system now plays the same way right the way up. So we're bringing in a manager who plays similarly, so we don't have to start all the way again from the like under 15, 16, and start teaching them new ways to play football again. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to think of things to have a consistent way. And if people don't understand what I mean, go and look at Ajax. Go and look at Barcelona. Go and look at so many of the major clubs around the world. They get managers that suit the way they play to keep their own identity. They don't just keep going, oh, we're just bringing whoever's the flavor of the month. And with no disrespect, bro, that's why Man United are all over the place. Because after Fergie left, you didn't keep the culture. You were just like, who's going to fix this? And all your managers play different styles, different formations, want different players. And that's why you've got like 5 different managers worth of players in one squad, and you're all over the place. Liverpool don't want to go down that road. So will he be a winner? I don't know. But I totally understand the logic behind why Liverpool have done this. And the guy's a good manager. In the previous season, when the Dutch league got ended, with like 5 or 6 games to go, he was joint top with AZ Alkmaar. Like, he was competing with Ajax, level on points with 6 games to go.
Sorry, man. The Dutch league is one of the worst leagues in the world. I'm telling you now, yeah.
But if you're Ajax manager, you don't really get to be judged too good because you're supposed to win. But if you're AZ, FC20, Feyenoord, if you're one of those managers, bro, those clubs aren't expected to win the league. So you still get credit for doing well with those clubs. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, Dan, BD Dan, what's your opinions on Arne Slot? He's going to come in now. You know, I mean, how big of a job has he got, man? Because, you know, and can they compete? You know, is it going to be a top 4 thing, or are they going to surprise a lot of people next year? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, this is massive, this appointment, because Liverpool are definitely taking a risk here because they haven't gone for a big name. They've gone for someone who, look, he's not under the radar. He's winning titles on the continent, but obviously they're in the Dutch league, which are the players that have come from that league have been questionable. So what does it say about the management and the competition and things like that? But what I like about it is I feel like it's quite calculated from Liverpool. It's pretty low risk in the terms that, like, in terms of how he'll play and Klopp will play, there's not a similar style as such, but it's not a drastic change either. So I think that's quite smart. It gives them a bit of time to potentially assess the market and see what is really out there. And if this works, they've taken a really calculated risk as well. So they've obviously identified him as someone they feel fits the mold to take over this current squad of players. Doesn't have to be exactly the same as Klopp, because that's Klopp. That's why Klopp is an elite manager, because of what he's achieved with this squad of players. But if they can work something out and achieve something, I think in my opinion, if he achieves anything that's a top 4 finish next year and potentially a trophy, that is a massive, massive achievement. I think that'll be one of the best starts for someone debuting in the Premier League that can possibly be done, with the person you're following in the footsteps from. Remember Moyes obviously taken over from Fergie. I know that's sort of incomparable because of what Fergie won, but the pressure's going to be there for Arne Slot. And Liverpool fans, because of his name, they're not going to give him time. So I think it'll be difficult for him, but I'm intrigued to see what happens. And I feel like Liverpool are taking a calculated risk here, like they did with their midfield this season. And ultimately, I think that midfield rebuild paid off this season. So I back them to do something right with this managerial appointment. So I want to see what happens.
It's interesting, man, and obviously Jurgen Klopp leaving is a massive thing, man. I do want to give him respect, though. I feel like for me, though, he's been he's kind of killed me, man. 5-0, 4-0, you know what I mean, 7-0. You know, he's kind of like, yo, I've seen some dark times on the Jurgen Klopp. You know, I don't know about you, man, but I swear down, I'm glad he's going, man, because he's giving us some batterings, and you know, I mean, how do you reckon he's going to be remembered, Dan Potts, Jurgen Klopp, in terms of, is he going to leave a legacy behind? Are Liverpool going to cope well without him? You know, how is he going to it's going to be a big miss. The character in the Premier League, it's going to be a big miss, man.
It will. I really like him. I can't lie. I don't particularly like it when he moans after games, but that's part of him. I think he's an unbelievable manager. I think he's been one of the greatest managers. I really do. I look at what he's done, and I know that Lee was talking about elite, and there's different definitions of elite. But when you look at what he's won at Liverpool, is phenomenal. You know, he's won a trophy pretty much every year. The style of football for me is the most attractive in the league to watch. I would rather watch Liverpool than Man City. In terms of the style, obviously Pep's a better manager because he wins stuff, right? But when you look at the style of the football, I actually think Jurgen Klopp's style is a much more attractive way to play football. I love it. I think it's absolutely superb when it's on fire. I remember season they won it, and the season before and after, watching Liverpool was a pleasure. Like, it really was. It was beautiful to watch, man. So he'll be remembered for that. Absolutely. Liverpool this next season, though, no excuses. They should be going for a title. They should be.
You think so?
And
Is
yeah,
that
they should be.
disingenuous
And
though
I'll
with
tell you
the
why.
manager? Okay, go
I'll
on,
tell
tell us,
you
tell
why.
us.
I'll tell you why. Because that squad has some world-class players in it. So I'm none of this Liverpool fans. I'll just get top 4. That'll be enough. We're not good enough now. You've just been in a title race. Add some quality to it. Get good enough. It's Liverpool, yeah? It's not Everton. Like, go and win a league. That's what you should be doing. You should be demanding and raising the standards of the club. It's a huge football club. None of this excuses of give it 4 years under Slot, he'll never start. Nah, man. You've got Trent, you've got Alisson, you've got Salah, you've got Van Dijk, you've got Alexis McAllister, I think is a top player. Add some quality to it. You might need another left back. You might need another centre half. You might need another DM. You might go and get Paulinho. You might go and get a wicked centre back. You might go and get an actual number 9. Who knows? But for me, that's what you need to go and do now for me, because I don't think it's just try and do what you can with this side. Top 4 would be good enough. No, it wouldn't. Liverpool should not be trying to get into the top 4. Liverpool should be trying to win the league. 4th place for Liverpool is not a good season, in my opinion, this coming season. They should be trying to get as close as they can again to a title. Now, if you come third and you're a few points off of it with Arsenal and Liverpool and City again, fair play, because Klopp's done that. But none of this, oh yeah, well, Liverpool, I expect them to be top 6 really because Arne Slot's there. Well, okay, maybe we haven't seen him yet. Maybe he's not good enough, and that's what happens. But you've appointed the guy because you believe there's something with it, right? So I don't think Liverpool need 12 players to go and compete with Man City and Arsenal. I think if they have a good window and add to it, they should be looking to go for the Premier League title again. That's what that would. Well, that's only what I would be if I was a Liverpool fan. Maybe I don't watch Liverpool enough. Maybe Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, all these guys are nowhere near level, and it's just like we try and rebuild with these guys. But not for me, man. You keep them as your squad players. Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones are not good enough to start for Liverpool. They're part of the squad, right? They're like the Smith Rowes and the Joe Willocks, all these guys that we had. They were squad players coming in. Yeah, they're not Saka level, are they? So you don't start them ones. You replace with them. That's what I think. I don't know what Drifty's at, where Drifty's head's at there. Maybe he agrees or disagrees. But for me, I think Liverpool should have a brilliant summer, back Arne Slot, get this Edwards guy to sort things out again, and go again, man. That's what Liverpool should be demanding as a fan base. Surely.
Big up.
To a degree, what you're saying is spot on. The 3 to 4 years, hell no. No, we ain't waiting that long. But the first year, I think common sense would tell you to be patient to a manager who's never lived in the country, played in the league, and there is going to be a come down from having an elite manager leave. So I think he gets 12 months to get his foot in the door. That's what it is. We still want to win something, bro, 100%.
Yeah.
Like top 4 in a trophy would be brilliant. Like if he won the FA Cup and he got 3rd, that would be a brilliant first season. That would be to be expected. But in terms of challenging for the title, I think he does need to be allowed that 1 year to get his foot in the door. If he'd managed in the Premier League before, I'd actually fully agree with you. But it is a big culture change to move to a new country, a new league and stuff like that. So I do think he has to be given 1 year to, in terms of challenging for the league, 1 year to get used to how, because another thing people keep forgetting as well, you know, the fixture pile up. A lot of foreign managers, that's what really knocks them for 6 when they get here.
True,
like,
true.
yo, hold on a minute. How many games are there? Like, that's the part that does take some getting used to. Every 3 days, playing constantly, bang, 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 barely a winter break, all that kind of stuff. Like, that takes some getting used to. So
all I would say, Drifty, right, is, and this isn't yourself, but some of the Liverpool fan base that were like, no, this squad is good enough to win the league. We're going to prove it is. I always said, I don't think it's quite there, but Jurgen Klopp could get you over there. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
But when the Liverpool fan base are then going, actually, no, we need a few years with this guy. It's like, well, what's the squad? What do you mean then? The squad clearly weren't good enough because it was Klopp. So this is what I'm saying. I think if it were a transfer window, and I'm not saying, well, if this guy don't win the title, get rid of him. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you get that year, right? But for me, if you're going to finish like 6th or something and go, actually, that's acceptable. No, it ain't acceptable.
No, that's not acceptable. Yeah, no,
exactly.
you're right there. That's not acceptable. 100%. You know what I mean? No,
big up Nedu. He says, big up my bro, big up the panel. I've said this and I'll keep saying it. Pep is heavily overrated. Premier League is just full of shite managers.
Come on, man. That's unbelievable. That is a
Normally I
wild
agree with
take,
you,
man.
but yeah. No, I do, man. I think we're just
That's
You know what's
outrageous.
crazy? Yeah? I can understand hating Guardiola in the way of how I used to hate Fergie because he just won all the time. But you can't not rate. Like this guy's done 2 trebles with 2 different teams in 2 different countries. He's only
yeah.
did you see the stats, Saeed? He's been a manager for what, 15 years, and he's only had 3 seasons he hasn't won the league in 15
Yeah,
years.
yeah. It's mad.
Like, what are we doing? Like, how can he not be like, how can he not be that guy? And the checkbook thing, he didn't really spend much money in Holland. I mean, in Germany. I know he was Bayern Munich manager, but he didn't spend that much money when he was in Germany. So, and
Mm.
going off people like Philip Lahm, who he's totally redefined his career. Do you know what I'm saying? And go and look at all the people who, yeah, Barcelona, people don't want to give him credit because they said he had Messi and he had
Mm.
Xavi. Okay, but you know it was him who trained people like Pedro and Busquets in the youth system and brought them through and gave them the trust to go on and become the players they like. It's crazy to me
Nah,
how
he's
people
crazy.
can
This
doubt
brother is
Guardiola. It's,
he's a
it's
machine, man. He's a
crazy to me
machine.
how you can doubt Guardiola. The man's the greatest manager of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think for me, it's bro, it's just too much, man. I'm sick and tired of him, man. I just want him to go, man. You know what I mean? Go back to Spain and just relax, man. You know what I mean? So, nah, generally, guys, man, apparently his wife and that doesn't live with him. His family don't live with him. He just lives on his own in his own flat, his own apartment.
That's the only
And
way you can be that obsessed, Saeed. Come on, there's no way you can come
He's a
home and your
madman,
missus
isn't he?
asks you something and you're just like, don't care about nothing but football. Like, your relationship ain't gonna last. So maybe that's the only way for them to be, you know.
who's that
I
other
think
door?
that's the reason he won't have the longevity in terms of being at one club that Fergie had, because the intensity that he does it at. I think that'll just wear him thin.
And the players, isn't it? They can't just keep getting that level of intensity.
Yeah, but
Constantly
I
all
would
the
back
time.
Pep to rotate players for as long as he manages in terms of like freshening up the squad and changing it up, because I feel like in the last 6-7 years we've seen his Manchester City side change so much. Remember when he first took over it as a small, really dynamic side? That's now a really physically strong and physically like I can't think of the word, imposing team as well. Like that, he's completely changed his style of football a couple of times. This Manchester City team, he ripped Barcelona apart. He got rid of so many big egos when he first got in there as a really young manager, and obviously changed that. He's always been forward thinking. I think the intensity though we've seen in the documentaries, I don't see how you could keep that up into double-digit years at one club. I just don't see how you could do that without a break.
What we need is Haaland to have an affair with his wife. That'd be good.
Oh my days, man. Nah, that's crazy. Then he was coming back, says 2 trebles with 2 elite teams. Y'all stop with this shit about Pep being almighty coach. I've studied this man's games and he does some questionable things. I hear that, but it's not by fluke though, is it? I get it's 2 elite good teams, you know, but let me ask you a question. Would Pep do well without the situation he was in? Like, would he do well at... This is why he maybe needs to go to Italy to kind of be like, everyone, this is his ultimate test. And then he just kind of like, answers to critics. He can do it anywhere, any place, anytime.
Do you know why that's a very unfair thing to say? Yeah, because like from what Nedu's saying, because first of all, name me another manager who's done 2 trebles. And you can give me any manager you want.
Find out
who's done 2 trebles with 2 teams. And not only that, if you really want to think about the situation, every elite manager normally wins at an elite club. It's really weird when people go, "Oh, well, is he supposed to break his level to prove himself?" He's always going to be elite teams because he's an elite manager. Normally, you go to other clubs because your career's starting to wane. Rafa Benitez was elite at one point, but then he started to wane. Jose Mourinho was elite at one time. Then they start going to these other types of clubs.
Gus Hiddink has done it.
Gus Hiddink's won 2 trebles with 2 different teams.
I think so, yeah. That's what it says on
Who was
here.
the other team he won it with?
I'm not sure which one it says here.
Because he did it with Bayern Munich, didn't he?
And I think it was PSV as well.
Oh, did he do it with PSV?
Wow.
Okay.
PSV, yeah.
There's
still not many managers that you can pick, though, right? That have done 2 trebles with 2 teams.
Jose, people say Jose. No, Jose hasn't done it. Porto went in. Did he win the treble with Porto?
Who else did he do the treble
Porto.
with?
Did he win the treble with Porto? I think he did.
No, I
Porto
don't
have
think
3 cups. I thought they had 2 cups in Portugal.
Yeah, I think he won 2. I don't think he did a treble.
I don't know.
And even then, there's 2 managers in the history of football that have done it as well as Guardiola. So of course it's an elite achievement.
Yeah. Now listen, give Pep that Liverpool team and he will crumble. I don't know. It's all about surroundings, isn't it? Would Fergie do well outside of Man United? I don't know. Them kind of questions are so hypothetical, man. Like, we'll never know, man. We'll just never know because it was so good. Herbert Chapman, apparently. Herbert Chapman, apparently. As well.
Yeah, Jose has done it.
Oh, Jose's done it as well. Wow.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
there's like 3 or 4 managers who've done it.
Yeah.
But listen, anyone doubting Pep, right? Let me tell you this: that Ferguson was outstanding. Wenger changed English football when he comes to the Premier League. Pep Guardiola's changed football, not English football. He's changed football, world football. Yeah, nobody was playing out from the back until Pep did it. Nobody was having a goalkeeper that's good with his feet. Nobody was playing tick-a-tack of football. Nobody knew what a false 9 was. Nobody knew what an inverted fullback was. But this guy has now changed the whole of football. For me, best in the world ever. I've not seen anything like it. I know Ferguson will go down as a better Premier League manager and fair play. But in terms of what Pep Guardiola done at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and now Man City, sorry, man. He's number 1 for me. Absolutely. You know, and Ancelotti can be up there with that. And obviously Sir Alex Ferguson. But them 3 for me, I think are the 3 I look at. And wow, like Pep Guardiola, anyone's still doubting him. I don't get it. Sorry, I don't get it.
You're bang on, Dan. I think that's the biggest point to make as well, is that sometimes you get these managers that are incredibly forward thinking in what they ask players to do. Give you an example of like Bielsa, has like found praise all around from different coaches, right? But then if you look at his trophies, you'd be questioning that record. The same with someone like Fergie. He wasn't exactly setting the world alight tactically when it came to exactly what he was doing. Even someone like Ancelotti could be in that mold. But what Pep's done is blend the two better than anyone's ever done. And for that reason, anyone that actually can even say that he's overrated needs to really assess what type of football they're watching and what they're actually wanting to see from other people.
Yeah, big up Bree. She just said what Lee Judge said there before. Big up Marco Mondino. He says Barcelona finished 3rd in La Liga before Pep was there. Xavi and Iniesta wasn't world class before Pep.
By the way, when
Xavi,
Mourinho did the treble, he did the treble with the UEFA Cup, not the Champions League. So technically, it's still not the same level.
Right.
Okay.
It's still a brilliant achievement, but he didn't. He won the Europa League. He didn't win the Champions League the year he did the treble.
Y'all eat me up. Ancelotti's are better than Pep. I don't think that's a big shout. You know, I think Ancelotti's up there, man. Ancelotti's up there with the greatest managers ever. You know, let's be honest.
Yeah,
man.
he's not better than Pep, but he's
not on Pep's level. Yeah, no way.
Champions League though, man. Listen, this guy, man, like he keeps doing it every year, man. Champions League. He could be winning.
Allegri's been sacked.
Yeah, Allegri's been sacked. Yeah, by Juventus.
What? Is that why you've been banging on about it today, Simon? I didn't know that, but
yeah, he's been sacked by Juventus.
Right. Ooh,
yeah. So that's what I was saying. You know, if you won there, listen, Xavi might be going as well. You know, did you hear about Xavi? By the way, apparently he's looking to leave. You know, because apparently they're saying that the Victor Ohe deal has kind of pissed him off a little bit because he wants to leave. Now the board are saying, yo, like, you got to ease him in. Then he's not asked. So apparently Xavi could be leaving as well. And now Tuchel is as well. And by the way, big up Tuchel, by the way, because he used to say, you know what, F you lot, mate, because you've gone around the block here. Imagine now, imagine your ex here, you're with your girlfriend, and she lets go of you, innit? And then she dates so many men. She has, like, you know what I mean? And she says to you, you know what, Saeed, you're not that bad after all. Come back, man. I say, nah, man, get away from me, mate. I don't want anything to do with you now.
Well, they want him to stay now. They want him to stay now.
Yeah, but then he said no.
They're a mess, by the way. Bayern Munich are a mess.
Jesus.
What is going on with them?
Mate.
You want to go around collecting bodies and then come back and realize I was actually the right one? You must be mad.
That's a mess, isn't it? That is a mess.
You must be mad.
No,
I don't know who they get.
Who do they get Bayern Munich though? Quickly,
Allegri, no.
Well, I don't think they will. I don't think he'll go there. To be honest with you, no. Listen, Ten Hag, if they want him, like, please, man. You know what I mean? Come and collect him, man.
Do something where they like make Thomas Muller a player manager, maybe, or something like that. You know, they like to keep it in house.
Yeah, they could do that. I mean, Hansi Flick's available, but again, he might look at the Thomas Tuchel situation and be like, nah, I don't want to go there. Jose Mourinho. Imagine that. Jose Mourinho's Bayern manager.
That's a shout, you know.
But he would never work with him. That board there, he would have them on locks, mate. They wouldn't want to work with Mourinho. With the way they are, that board, nah, no chance. Absolutely no chance.
They've changed up the board a little bit, though, Saeed. I think they're a little bit more flexible now. They realise that to get rid of a few of the hard-headed,
Oliver
people
Kahn,
causing the issues. Yeah. So maybe Jose could work for a year or two.
Nedu comes back and says, "Call me whatever, but even flipping Arteta has impressed me more than Pep. Maybe one day I will get the chance to explain my controversial takes." Yeah, no, for real, man.
Really doesn't like Pep. Really doesn't like Pep.
Yeah, man. Obviously, United fan as well, Nedu, man. So big up to Nedu,
big
man.
up, man. It's all about opinion.
Big up,
Everyone's allowed their opinion, of course.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. 441 likes, and please, guys, like the video, people, if you can. That would be amazing. Get us to 500 likes. You know what? Last game of the season, right? Yeah. West Ham. I don't know if you've seen West Ham. Yeah, Kufal. The guys just come out with a comment, yeah, basically saying that I've never seen the Premier League. It'll be good to see it. And I'm like, yo, like they're not serious, man. I don't personally for me. You said Drifty, yeah, that it could still possibly happen, yeah. I think you're right in terms of the attack, yeah, but their defense has conceded more goals than just more goals after Sheffield United. They are horrible defensively. So I don't know where you're getting it from, man. Where are you seeing it? Because look at what Kulfal's saying here. You know, I don't know if it's a fake quote or not, but
all right, I'll give you the reasons as to why if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't give up hope. Yeah. Liverpool went into the final game of the season, 22-23 season, I think it was, the year when we were chasing the quadruple, right?
Yeah.
And they had Aston Villa at home, who were in really bad shape and had an inexperienced Steven Gerrard as their manager. And it was only the inexperience of Steven Gerrard why they didn't win, because he was bold, he went for it. They absolutely took Man City by surprise. They went 2-0 up. And then his inexperience to not continue playing the way he is and just fall back into a defensive shape, won Man City the league. Because I believe if he'd have kept Coutinho and Van Rama on the pitch to have someone who could retain the ball for Villa, that last 20 minutes wouldn't have gone that way. But once he took his two ball retainers off, it was like City were like, 20 minutes, we can just bombard them now. And Tyrone Mings, everyone knows how much of a donkey he can be, right?
Yeah.
If you look at Moyes is a very experienced manager. Moyes could quite easily come up with a game plan. How many did it draw, you know?
Bro, he's getting
like they
sacked,
need to win the game. They only need to draw the game. West Ham are very much capable of getting a draw. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they are capable, and stranger things in football have happened. The same way I'll say to the National boys, you know what? Even though I think you will win, possibility that Sean Dyche could ruin the party by West Ham doing something.
How many goals have they conceded, West Ham? Do you know how many goals in the league they've conceded?
But how many goals have Everton conceded and they beat us, bruv? It can happen.
No. But listen, they've conceded 71 goals this season. More than Sheffield United as well. More than Sheffield United.
Look, it can happen. It can happen.
That's crazy. 71 goals, more than any team in the league. Actually, no, sorry. Sheffield United conceded 101. So just below Sheffield United.
101. Jesus.
101, yeah. Actually, Burnley conceded 76. Oh, Luton Town conceded 81. No, sorry, yeah. The bottom three. But still, though, man, it's a shambles, man. You know? It's a shambles, mate. Man City have conceded 33 goals this season. They've scored 93. Bro, 93 goals. Chelsea beat them. How much did you beat them, Chelsea, Dan?
No, wait, we didn't beat them, did we?
You beat West Ham.
Oh, beat West Ham. Oh, yeah. We beat West Ham 5-0, yeah.
5-0, that's Chelsea, man. No disrespect to Chelsea. But come on, man.
David Moyes' last game.
Yeah, but Chelsea scored goals this season, to be fair, though, Saeed. Last season, they were drastically bad. I think they had worse than what the relegation sides had in terms of goal scoring. But this season, if Potter's done anything, he's definitely added goals to this team.
Yeah. But even this comment here.
You don't look at that West Ham squad and see how much talent they've got going forward and think,
bro, it's a Ferrari and a Fiat
City,
Fondo.
You know?
It's a Ferrari at the top and a Fiat Mondo at the back. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah. It's a bit rusty at the back, you know.
You can get wrong with that though, Saeed. You can get a 2-2 draw with that situation, though, right?
Bro, it's oh man, nah, man. Listen, I've given
That
up.
West Ham side probably owe it to Moisey though, didn't they, to get him to send him out on a high? Do you know what I mean? They'll probably absolutely fall apart.
Let's hope so, man. Let's hope they do. They do something.
But also, what's the guarantee that Arsenal beat Everton? By the way, why is everyone sure that Arsenal will beat Everton?
That's what I was saying. You never know.
Arsenal won't beat Everton. You know what I mean? Like Arsenal won't beat Everton, but it's a tricky game, Everton. You know, they're unbeaten the last. I think. Let me see how many games are.
Will Arsenal be wearing that new bottle job kit as well? Or
4 wins out of last 5.
Let me give you some advice, Arsenal. Yeah, you see what you have to do. You have to do what Liverpool failed to do in the 2 times we went to the final day of the season. You must put the pressure on City by scoring in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah,
they have to know that you're winning your game.
Yeah,
there's no way you can do what we did, where it's about the 60th minute before we get the lead, and they weren't really under pressure during the day. If you score in that first 15 minutes, have the lead, and you're winning, who knows what the pressure might do to City?
Put pressure on them, exactly that.
Yeah. No, I think
I'm trying to get a bit of hope here, like, you know what I mean?
I hope for you lot. Listen, I hope, but I think for me, it's mentally done. I mean, Arteta's been talking about it, you know, we'll never give up on that, but I just think it's mentally done that, you know, it's the league's over. You know what I mean? And whatever Arsenal do, City just have to win. And Rodri's record is insane. If you not win this game, yeah, will this go down as one of the best Premier League titles for in ever? Like, I know you've got the late day in, remember, 99 when, you know what I mean, Cole chipped it over the top. You've got all them dates, but is this going to be the best ever, one of the best ever Premier League title wins? Dramatic Arsenal. I think it might do, you know,
for
man.
Arsenal
day.
As a Premier League, it will. Obviously, it won't be Michael Thomas 89. Nothing will beat that. But and the Aguero moment will obviously go down as better than this. But you don't know. You don't know what can happen, man. It could be a crazy. Well, I hope it's a crazy weekend. But I honestly believe we'll comfortably beat Everton, and Manchester City will comfortably beat West Ham, and they'll win it. That's what my prediction is. But you sit and hope. That's all we can do. That's all we got. We got to do our job, and then hope. That is all we got to do, man. So let's see what we can do. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll be exciting. Otherwise, it's just going to be a bit of a boring last day of the season, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the title race, yeah.
Yeah, we want come on,
drama.
Wants West Ham to
Everyone
go.
wants drama, surely.
Everybody wants West Ham.
Enough tie with his
no, guys, I'll give you a bit more advice. If you don't end up winning it at all, I think you would rather just slice over at halftime. Do you know how much it killed us when we thought Villa might be able to hold on and then they didn't? I've never felt disappointment like that in my life.
2-0 up.
Really?
Well.
You're a Liverpool fan?
Honestly, I've never felt disappointment like that in my life. That was because of what was at stake. We were going for a quadruple as well, and all that. That was disappointing. You just want to know it's over at halftime if you are gonna lose it,
bro.
You don't want the hope, man.
That day, Zinchenko. I think Zinchenko changed the game. Funny enough, he came on second half, changed the game, and then obviously Gundogan scored. You know, maybe they haven't got good.
You know better than anybody, bro. The Aguero moment. It's literally the latest ever you can lose a title. Your game was over and you thought you'd won the league.
Bro, I swear down, what funny about that day, I was watching the game. I said to my dad, flick over, because the Sky remote, innit? Flick over. I said, as soon as he flicked over, Balotelli, Aguero, I went on the floor, bro. I started just, I was on the floor, man. I was emotionally I was gone, man. And then I went for the longest walk ever. I went through Moss Side. I went through the deepest parts of Manchester, because I was like, yo, I'm not coming home anytime soon. Because by then, there's the main road and then the pub round the corner. They were all full of City fans. They were all celebrating, man. You know what I mean? And then it just became it was crazy, man. Yeah, Grealish also scored as well. It was crazy, man. But QPR gave up. And this is the issue. You know, will West Ham put in a fight?
Mate,
you know, they have got
Joey Barton. I always remember.
Oh,
Joey
man,
Barton.
that prick, man. Seriously, man. Joey Barton, man.
Trying to headbutt company and
seriously, what are you doing, man? Seriously.
That was a madman. That was crazy.
You know what I mean? The Brighton game as well, Drift. We conceded them, scored before kickoff. Yeah, was that 2000? That was the year when they won the Centurion season, wasn't it, though? They had it wrapped up.
No, that was the year we won the Champions League. So, yeah, he's right. Yeah, they did go 1-0 down. But I don't know if we were winning at that point. But I know they did go 1-0 down to Brighton, but then obviously they just battered them in the end. I think it's like 4-1 in the end.
Goal difference. So if Man City get a point, will be on 89 points. Arsenal, if they win, they'll finish on 89 points. Goal difference.
Arsenal win the league if Man City draw.
No, but what about true.
They can't. If they draw, they can't get any more.
Oh
plus
yeah. Shit, man.
Don't come into it now. Well, it can do, but it don't matter. It don't matter how many Arsenal get or whatever. If they draw and we win it.
Yeah, that's mad. You know, that's crazy, man. I swear down, bro. Jeez, man, broski. Nah, that's mad.
Draw, man. It's just a draw. I know.
It's a draw, man.
I don't have to lose. Just draw it. We win. That's it. Done.
West Ham are more than capable of getting a draw at the Etihad, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying there is a possibility that it could happen. West Ham are a very good team on their day. It's not like a Sheffield United or one of those teams where we're like, where do you even see it happening? Kudos, Bowen, Antonio, Paqueta. These guys are ballers. There is definitely a possibility that West Ham could cause an upset. 100%. So, what's his name? The tall guy.
Stop doing it.
Don't forget West Ham. Get an extra 5 million if they win this game. So there's an incentive there, So,
yeah, but for who though? The owner or for the team? You know what I mean?
It could be going towards and
pays for their stadium for another year, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
So it's another 5 million in their coffers.
That's crazy, man.
All we can do is dream, man. All we can do is dream.
Yeah, you can only dream.
It could go the other way, bro. Arsenal could hear that Man City are winning 1-0 and lose motivation, and all of a sudden Everton get them on a set piece and they're 1-0 down somehow. It could go either way.
True. That is so true. That
it could go either way.
If things are going, right for us at City, it could put untold pressure on us, and we could fold. You know what I mean? It could be ever, you know more than us, but this is it's going to be a weird situation. From
this comment here, by the way, Kudus wants to do it for party, and someone messaged me today saying Bowen has told Rice we'll do all we can for you, mate. That's
there you go. So they're extra motivated, you know.
I don't see it.
One of my West Ham mates, who's a good mate of mine, phoned me up yesterday or the day before and just turned around and said, we do everything we can to beat them cheating so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, we're not good enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The reality is you're not good enough. Like when people wanted United to win and whatnot, you know what I mean? Like, big up Drifty, man. Love for coming on as usual, man.
Big up.
Make sure you follow Drifty, man. Big up. It's like United. Like, we're not going to do anything. And Tottenham were never going to do anything. So, unfortunately, just play your game. Don't worry about anything. And whatever happens. And then celebrate after. Have a parade after. Relax. You know what I mean? Enjoy yourselves. And, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. What can you do? So, that's what I would say. Anyway. Just before
Juventus are getting Thiago Motta, apparently.
Yeah. Juventus are getting Thiago Motta.
Now, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, he did.
Man.
Yeah, I was going to say he got Thiago points for Juventus. So.
Yeah, Thiago Motta is going. So, yeah, that's that, man. Before we wrap up, last 5 minutes or so. Chelsea guaranteed European spot. You know what I mean? United still have to win on the final day to ensure that, but. Not a bad end to the season, man. It could have been worse, but 6th position if you win your game, not bad. Not bad when you think about when you could have finished 11th in the league.
Yeah, I mean, there's even potential of 5th, which would be absolutely crazy.
What?
I think, there is, because if our goal difference is better than Spurs if they lose.
What?
Imagine if Spurs lose to Sheffield.
No.
And then if say Spurs lose and finish 6th, and then United win the Europa League, then does that affect Spurs even more or not? Would Spurs then get Conference League?
Nah, seriously.
I can't remember exactly how it happens.
But if they win the FA Cup, they'd have to drop down to the Conference League.
Yeah, so Spurs could end up with Conference League football as well, or Chelsea could end up with Conference League.
End up with nothing. That is correct.
Yeah, Right. So there's more.
Man United have got to win the FA Cup though, right?
Yeah. So this battle for Europe can literally go on after the season finishes because of the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
So even if Chelsea get sixth, there's like no guarantee they get Europa League unless Man City win the FA Cup. So it's okay.
Chelsea.
I think Conference League is the lowest I find acceptable. I think, to be honest with you.
What's this coming here? Zigo says Chelsea can finish sixth and still not get Europa League.
Yeah, because of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So say you win it, Said, Chelsea would then get Conference League and you'd get the Europa League position. Because basically the Premier League or England gets 2 Europa League slots given to it, but it all depends on how they're earned because of who finishes where in the league and wins what, basically.
Yeah.
So it would be unreal, wouldn't it? That would be the most exciting thing to happen on there.
United. If Sheffield United beat Spurs, that'd be so funny, man.
But then Chelsea have to do a job against Bournemouth, and I think we lost against them earlier on in the season, and I think they've been really good.
At the moment,
we are. I don't disagree. I feel like we weren't that great against Forest, and there were spells in that Brighton game where I felt like De Zerbi definitely had the better of us for a little bit, but not too long. But yeah, ultimately, the fact we can sit here and talk about Chelsea getting European football from where we were probably February time is crazy. I think we lost to Wolves and maybe Liverpool within the space of like 3 or 4 days. And at that point, I was potch out completely. I think if he gets us European football, as much as I still don't think he's the standard Chelsea need to be at right now, just because of what he's got on his CV. We're talking about all these elite managers. Chelsea should have one of them. Chelsea, in my opinion, aren't currently employing an elite manager. But if he does get us European football with all the issues that he's had, with the ownership issues, with the apparently not being backed, everything that's gone on, I think that's the thing I would say is that's acceptable is getting European football. So I think it's crazy. It's funny how, by the way, all Chelsea's players are pretty much fit bar 3 players now. Like, what have they been doing all season when it's been tough? So I'd question a couple of players' mentality as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting fight for that, like those European places on the final day. That's for sure as well.
Yeah, I mean, United, we just have to just get over this win and just get for the FA Cup, man. I'm looking forward to the FA Cup final. I was a bit kind of like, but I'm like, what, let's just end on a high, man. Win that FA Cup, hopefully, and then we'll go from there, man.
Positions there, Man United can't get Europe, can they?
We still can. We still can.
They can,
If Newcastle lose, though.
Oh, right,
if Newcastle and Chelsea have to lose.
Yeah.
And United have to score quite a few goals to get it on. Oh, no, wait.
I know. Hey?
No, they go above Newcastle, wouldn't they? So they could get...
Yeah, we'll go above Newcastle.
Right, they could get conference if they... basically, if you go above Newcastle and then sacrifice winning the FA Cup, you'd actually get European football.
Sacrifice winning the FA Cup? Well, we could get Europa League football with the FA Cup anyway, so...
Yeah, or you could, like... It's crazy. That FA Cup's throwing a spanner in the works big time.
Bro, you know what it is? It's just
settled until that's done.
No, nothing's settled. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Matisse and Eunice have to hold that. I'm telling you, these guys were saying, oh, thank you. Well, it could be not thank you for winning the FA Cup. You know what I mean?
Imagine that.
You know what I mean? Who can have the last laugh, eh?
Chelsea have to win really to guarantee some sort of European football.
Some sort of European trophy.
They could actually be knocked.
Yeah, man.
So that team, like, say if you finish 7th, if Newcastle or Chelsea finish 7th, there is a possibility they can be knocked out of Europe the following week.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So they can't really celebrate.
But Man City ain't going to lose to Man United in the FA Cup. Or are they, Saeed?
Well, I don't... You know what it is? They should beat us. But the problem is, we just never know in the FA Cup. 80% for me. I'm looking at this game more 80-20. It sounds sad, but it is 80-20. But you just never know, man. Red card. Something could happen, man. You just never know.
So Man City could end up with nothing then. Is that what we're saying here?
Well, there you go. Season than Man City.
Imagine.
Sack Pep, he ain't won nothing. Sack him, get rid of him.
Yeah. Imagine that, though. Like, I think this could be the first season where United win a trophy and I think City don't win a trophy. I think so. You know what I mean?
If they go trophy to City, that would be incredible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what people say in Farmers League? But the fact we can talk about all this happening on the final day, like
that's what I'm saying. It's not Farmers League.
That shout's got to disappear, mate. Like,
yeah, Yeah. But we'll find out, man. I mean, it's going to be an intriguing game. Are you both at the game, man, Dan and Lee?
Yeah.
We'll be there, man. We'll
Yeah,
be there.
man. Make sure you get your radios, man, because it doesn't
I
have
know.
a signal. Get your radios back to the old days, man. Get the radios out.
Yeah,
because you can't. I don't get a signel on my phone when I'm there. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
is it?
My
You
mate
got
next
Wi-Fi.
to
You
me-
don't got Wi-Fi in your stadium.
Awful. It's awful. Like
Yeah,
the
so's
signal
Chelsea.
at the stadium is
Chelsea's
awful.
awful as well.
How
No
you not got-
Wi-Fi. It's terrible.
We've got a
Don't
roof.
tell me United have decent Wi-Fi but don't have a
decent
roof.
Wi-Fi. That's what I'm saying.
What?
We have decent Wi-Fi, but the roof is shit. You know what I mean?
That's why, mate, because the signal's getting through the roof.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's crazy.
There's holes in it.
Hey, it's mad. Honestly, it's decent Wi-Fi. I uploaded my match reaction on there, so it must be decent.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Once a lot of people go, you get a really good reception. But once
That's all right after 80th minute Arsenal then, Lee, isn't it?
Yeah.
that's a bit harsh. That's a bit harsh.
I'm winding you up, mate. I'm winding you up. I wouldn't say that,
I
actually.
hear what you're saying,
Chelsea
like,
after half hour were dusted from the Emirates, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Last question here. Z says, Dan, if we win the FA Cup and come 8th and Arsenal don't win anything, who've had a better season? Well, come on, man. That's not...
the team with the trophy.
Yeah, exactly. Dan won't give you another answer like that, man. You know what I mean? So, listen, man. It's gonna be a brilliant end to the season. What a show, guys! Big up to everyone who's been locked in. I don't know if we've hit 500 likes yet. Hopefully, we have hit the 500 likes mark. Big up everyone here. 482. So we're less than 20 away, people. So if you could hit the like button, that would be great. Dan Potts is live after this, so we're gonna redirect to his channel. But Dan, pleasure as always, mate. Thank you very much.
Oh, come on. Absolute pleasure is mine, man. Big up to all of you. Big up to the chat. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And come join me if you want to. Big up, Saeed. Thank you, man. Love as always.
Yeah, big up always, man. Big up always. And big up Lee. Good to see you today. And hopefully you do it, man. Good luck, honestly. Good luck, man. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I know it's funny because going up to Manchester last week, I know that we beat you in the end, but so many Man United fans like, please, I hope you do it and all that.
I know, it's crazy,
really
isn't it?
Weird thing, like, you know, that Man United who don't really like us very much, but there were a lot of Man United fans saying, you know, we hope you do it. So
yeah.
And you know what? If we do it, I hope you win the FA Cup.
I hope you do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of Arsenal fans are saying, and I'm going to just like, because if Arsenal don't win it, which is probably going to happen, like we still get the Community Shield if Man United don't win that. But you know what? I'm prepared to sacrifice that.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's only Community Shield. But big up, man. Are you live anytime soon, Lee? You guys, I know you do content.
Oh no, after the probably on the Monday day, wouldn't it? I reckon, like, you know, I think Sunday we'll be
do something
over
the weekend
or
Monday,
we'll be depressed. So it'll be the Monday, like, you know.
All right, then. Big up. And then Dan, man, big up to you as well for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here again. I know I've only been here the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's been great every time being on the show, and what an end to the season it's going to be. Absolute pleasure chatting with all of you as always.
Yeah, big up to you. Guys, I'll be back later tonight, people, after the Big Six. We'll run a little two-show news and whatnot. Some headlines about Ivan Toney as well. So head over there. But make sure you head over to Dan Potts Football 12th Man. Head over there, like the video when on stream. I will see you soon, guys. Take care, bye.